This episode of the ZuLoo Pōōdcast is sponsored by ZuLoo Inc., a benefit corporation dedicated to the goal of universal access to toilets, hygiene, clean water and sanitation through the power of social enterprise. Learn more at ZuLoo.com.
That was an incredible interview. That was my first time meeting Meera, and she is the gem that you both talk about. That is and her team. I didn't expect that we would get to meet her team.
Can you see all those megawatt smiles? Oh. You know, it's like,
Yes.
Yeah. They say like a smile is like worth 1,000 words, and that's definitely the case there,
Absolutely.
How cool.
Yeah, we thought Kelsey had the best smile on the podcast internet, but she's got competition now.
Welcome to the ZuLoo Pōōdcast, where we talk all things poop, toilets, and sanitation. Through insightful news, impact stories, and quirky humour, we aim to discuss and highlight the critical role toilets play in whisking poop out of our lives, the impact toilets have, or lack thereof, in the health and wellness of humanity, and what ZuLoo is doing to help solve the current global sanitation crisis.
Hey everybody, welcome to the ZuLoo Pōōdcast. So excited to have you listening in today. We have an excellent episode prepared. We are super excited because we have special guest Meera plus her team SAPID, that we get to interview. It's going to be amazing. So
rock stars, India rock stars, Bollywood. That's what we're going to be talking about today.
Yeah, Meera, definitely Bollywood.
Yeah, we're super excited to connect with Meera. We're going to do a Zoom call with her in a few minutes with her team. And Meera is, I think she's super cool. She's the founder of SAPID. SAPID is a NGO, non-government organization in India that she founded.
It was in the 90s, right?
Yeah, a long time ago.
That's what I read.
In the 1990s.
Been around
Meera
a while.
was trained as a lawyer, had all these opportunities, but decided to found SAPID to help with the slums in Hyderabad, which is her hometown. And they do a lot of things as far as like making sure that, the slum dwellers get, electricity and they get registered to vote and they get basic services that otherwise they wouldn't get. And so, but we're super excited to be partnered with them on the sanitation front in these slums. And so, we're super excited to talk to her today. So
awesome. Well, we'll go ahead and jump over to our interview and listen to just the golden news that Meera has for us, and then see where the conversation takes us. Hi, Meera. Welcome to the ZuLoo Pōōdcast. We're so excited to have you on. So excited to have the opportunity to speak with you and get to know you a little bit more today. We'd love to just ask you to start out and introduce yourself. Who are you? And who do we get the pleasure of speaking with today?
Firstly, thank you for inviting me to the podcast. And I'm really honored. And I would like to introduce myself. I'm Dr. Meera. I come from Hyderabad. I've done all my education in Hyderabad. And at the age of 19, when I was doing my graduation, that is when I was in high school, with friends, we participated in a survey, socio-economic survey of a mega dam, which is going to displace lakhs of families.
Wow.
So we went there to do a survey to study, in fact, the impact analysis. So in India, usually sending a young girl away from the home was a bit same. But my father background was he was an army officer. So he said you should work because still today I follow his footsteps. He said you should not do any development by convenience, like sitting in the four walls and with the computers. He said you should go into the field and work with the grassroots workers.
Okay.
So after completing my graduation with my own friends, the college friends who have similar background, social work background, we started an organization and then we started working in 1986.
Okay.
And 86 because we had to have a legal this thing. we went for a registration, and that's how SAPID was registered in 1986. So SAPID mostly deals with the issues rather than programs. Programs is like, we don't believe in charity. We believe in people participation. So we feel that, when there is a participation, there is an ownership. They own. Because when their contribution is there, they own. So
Right.
this is the basic objective of SAPID. And my background is, as I was running the organization, and I am mostly women friendly. I'm not against men, but I feel that women should come into the field and work for the women.
Right.
And the organization name itself is Study Action Group for Participative Integrated Development. So Darren and Chris was very cordial, very kind, and very positively responded to these issues. And they came forward to support for toilets and water.
Yeah.
So initially we had around only 20 beneficiaries, but because we could save some money, we could add 2 more, and then 22 beneficiaries. We went for the toilets. Then we went for 3 bore wells. Of course, one collapsed because we had a heavy rains. And then because it was in the slope, all the sand went and got accumulated. And then it collapsed, which we have already informed Darren and Chris. So, but otherwise, this bore wells and this, now they have access to the sanitation and water. Having sanitation to help me celebrating Christmas and New Year.
I love it. That's exciting
That's
news.
We did it on the Women's Day, where we almost did it complete Women's Day. So they said, this is a real independence for us.
Absolutely, yeah.
And specifically, all the youngsters and women gathered, and they were all in tears. Seeing them in tears, that it's happiness. But seeing them in tears, we realized, that it's not that, addressing the issue, but, considering each individual problem.
Absolutely.
Right. Thank you so much for telling us more about SAPID. It's amazing all the things that you guys are doing and all of the things you're doing to help women and everyone in your communities. Meera, as you were telling the story about walking through the streets where some of these people are living just outside the dump, I remembered when you, Darren, and Melissa and I were walking in the streets and it started to rain. And you could just see all of the stuff going down the streets and that smell that you were talking about. It's very strong, and it makes you think that sanitation is so important. And so we're very, very, very thankful for you and your whole team, for all you guys have done to help us connect, to be able to participate in helping bring sanitation to folks in Karmak Nagar and other slums in the area. And it's awesome to hear the stories about what we were able to do for folks for Christmas and New Year's this year.
Please, if I'm interfering you, I'm sorry. But this year, 21, ZuLoo again came forward to support for 30 toilets and 3 bore wells, which we have already completed. So except for 3 toilets. So this year 30. Last year I was explaining only about last year. But 2021, 22, you have again supported us with the 30 toilets and 3 bore wells. And it is directly supporting 30 plus 20 extended families, 50 families for the sanitation, and more than 300 families for the water.
That's so great. And we're so thankful. It wouldn't be possible if you guys didn't help us find the right people and all of those families. Meera, we're beginning to start to share more of these stories on this Pōōdcast. You can see here Pōōdcast. Thank you for joining us on it. We'd love to meet some of the team members that you have. Can you maybe invite some? Are there more of the team?
I will ask Urmi. She will sit.
Okay.
Yeah, and she will talk. Yeah.
Okay. Hi, Urmi.
Hi, Chris. How are you?
Great. How are you doing?
I'm doing good, Chris.
Excellent. Thank you for...
Happy New Year.
Happy New Year. Urmi, we have some questions.
Yes.
So you guys help a lot of folks there, but can you tell us some of the stories about a story about how a family has benefited from receiving a toilet or clean water? Can you just tell us an example of a story that you know of one of the families that has been helped by your efforts?
Okay. There's one family. Her name is Lakshmi, and she has a daughter. And when her daughter was going for the defecation, for the nature's call, there were some boys over there, and she didn't know about it. So there were some boys who suddenly came in front of her, and they removed the pants in front of her. So she was really shaken up, and she ran back home without attending the nature's call, and that took a very effect on her mind, and she would just not talk to anybody or not, and she was so scared even to go to pass urination and all that. So when we were in the area, the mother just said, I don't remember, I don't know what has happened to my daughter. And the daughter would only say that I would like to go back to my grandmother's house, who stays in another village where her grandmother has a sanitation facility. And the mother was not agreeing for that because she's the only daughter. And the mother said, why do you want to go and live with your grandparents who are old and who may not be able to take care of you so well? But she was very adamant. So then her mother spoke to us. And then when we went and spoke to the girl, I counseled her, and then I asked her what exactly is the problem, whether she had it in the school or she had anywhere else. So she said, this is what happened to me, and I just don't want to stay here because boys always, if I go out of the home also, I can see those boys roaming in front of our homes, and I'm really scared of them. So that is one story which was really touching one, and we feel that sanitation is a big issue sometimes. It is always a big issue for girls, especially, and young girls.
Yeah.
And water borewell which we have put in Araya colony, that colony the groundwater is very near to the dumping yard, and so whatever rainwater would come, it would all collect in one place. They had no water; they had to walk around 2 to 3 kilometers to fetch water. Even if the water tanker comes, it would come once in 15 days. So it was very difficult. Yes, it was very difficult for them. So when we were doing borewell at an adjacent village called as Karmik Nagar, these people all came and requested us that we should consider them as for a borewell. So we considered, and then a borewell is put. Now they have ample of water, and they're very happy, and they thank ZuLoo and especially all the team for the work which we have done.
Urmi, thank you so much. Thank you for telling us these stories.
Yes.
They're great to hear, and thank you for meeting and talking to those families.
Yes.
What are some of the challenges that you and your team have experienced during the lockdowns, and what are some of the things you guys are trying to do now to help people?
The challenges during the
pandemic.
During the pandemic, first thing is we were not able to get permission from the police to go to the area because most of the time we were not because of that. And then secondly, people were not having any jobs because all the construction jobs were stopped because of the pandemic. Labor was not getting any salary or anything. So that was one challenge where they always asked us for some kind of help. We could help them out. So that was that's way how we were able to support them with dry ration. And yes, we supported them with masks and sanitizers also.
Okay, great. Urmi, one more question.
Yes, sir.
What has been the most rewarding part of your work with SAPID and some of the work we're doing with you with ZuLoo? What has been the most rewarding?
The most rewarding thing is at the end of the day when I see the smile on the people's face, and that is the most rewarding thing which I feel.
That's so great. Thank you, Urmi.
I also feel the smile which you're giving it to me is the most rewarding one. And I feel that I've done something. So I thank you for that smile.
Thank you. We one of our favorite things from the trip when we spent time with you, meeting the people there, was seeing all those beautiful smiles. So thank you guys so much for everything you're doing.
Yeah, thank you for all of your doing to help with the toilets and with the water wells. We could not do it without you on the ground and doing what you're doing. So we're super happy that we're able to connect and see you.
The feeling is mutual, Darren, because without you, we could not do this. It was impossible for us to address. So it's like, we are like a development partners. So it's not 50% is what action, but 50% is the support. Without you all, we couldn't have done this. We couldn't have brought smiles on girls and women. We wouldn't have, people could not have, access to water. But because of you, now they are celebrating, they are celebrating Christmas, they're celebrating New Year, and it's the women power. It's all was possible only because of ZuLoo's support.
Well, we thank you so much for our partnership, and we look forward to a great 2022. We hopefully can come and see you guys maybe this year. I don't know if God willing, the pandemic subsides, we can come to Hyderabad again.
That would be awesome.
Most welcome. We're looking forward, and we'll be happy to share more stories. If we talking representing them, but if you come and you listen to them directly, we feel more honored.
Absolutely.
And they feel very happy that the donors have come and supported, spoke to us and all, and it's a happy feeling for them too.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. Well, thank you so much, and we look forward to having you again. We're going to share this story on our podcast to all of our followers, and they want to know how things are going, and so we'll definitely have you guys on the ZuLoo Pōōdcast again, and again hope to see you again soon.
Thank you, guys.
Namaste.
Bye.
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 Okay. That was an incredible interview. That was my first time meeting Meera, and she is the gem that you both talk about.
Yeah.
That is and her team. I didn't expect that we would get to meet her team.
Can you see all those megawatt smiles?
Oh.
It's like,
Yes.
Yeah. They say like a smile is like worth 1,000 words, and that's definitely the case there,
Absolutely.
How cool.
Yeah, we thought Kelsey had the best smile on the podcast internet, but she's got competition now. Because
no, there's no even competition. They just
I counted at least 7. Was it 7 or 8 there? That was just super awesome.
But it's amazing. It's awesome to be reminded of the stories of kind of why, hearing the story about the young girl who was traumatized while going to the bathroom because of the abuse that happens in the neighborhoods. And then just being reminded of like, all of the challenges, snakes. I totally forgot about like cobras, right?
Yeah.
Things like that are actually in the grass and when you're going to the bathroom,
and that you can't see in the dark.
No, and you can't. Yeah, and then the other things you don't think about, right?
Yeah.
Which is constipation, right?
Yeah.
Some of these girls are holding it for so long.
I mean, she said they'll go once every 2 to 3 days.
Right.
I mean, I can't like.
So then all of a sudden you're looking at like constipation problems. You're looking at then they don't want to eat.
Yeah.
Then they also talked about water, right? So you have water a water truck that doesn't arrive, but every 15 days.
Every 15 days.
So then all of a sudden they're not drinking enough water.
Yeah.
And then they don't want to go to the bathroom.
Yeah.
And so you can think of all of the health issues that go along, which is not having access to clean water.
Yeah.
Plus being able to go to just to have a toilet.
Yeah.
Right.
So how cool is that to be able to see them and also just how humble they are. when they're saying they couldn't do it without us, but the reality is we couldn't do it without them.
Yeah.
Just what awesome
absolutely.
partners. One thing that we didn't talk about, and I guess say, is like Meera's she's received multiple Mother Teresa Awards for her work in India since the 90s, fighting legal battles and fighting for the rights of people who can't do it themselves.
It's a big deal. The Mother Teresa Award. It's like winning an Oscar. It's like winning Presidential Medal of Freedom.
Yeah.
Right. Talk and just her willingness to work with us is just a blessing. And so, how cool is it to meet all those folks?
And to know that there are just feet on the ground, right? I mean, I think sometimes it's really easy to be sort of removed as either a patron or a donor of an organization, of an NGO, of a charity, whatever, and think like, but is there actual work going on if you're not part of that volunteer team?
Right.
So to meet people who are doing the work, they're there, they're interacting with the recipients. It's just so much more inspiring, right? To be like, this is real. The work is happening.
Right.
30 toilets installed over the last 2 or 3 months, I think, since ZuLoo sent our last contribution to Team SAPID. And it's just 30 toilets serves a lot of people.
Right.
That's a lot of goodness that they, through, ZuLoo, right, our connection together, get to do. And
and that's
really inspiring.
The whole approach that she mentioned was, how they go into the communities. They're not going in kind of like a top-down approach where like, oh yeah, we're here to donate all these toilets and all this stuff for you.
Right.
And they've seen like government do that or other organizations do that. And it really, and this is all what we've learned from Meera and her team is that, they just randomly select people to get toilets, and then you breed animosity in the community. It's like, why did they get a toilet and we didn't?
So the community,
they do such a great job in getting community buy-in.
Right,
and
that buy-in's critical.
And the community decides. It was amazing. Like when we were there, they turned it over to the community leaders and said, "Hey, what you tell us," and they had done all the prep work ahead of time, and so it wasn't like, "Oh, we're coming here to solve your problems." No, they already had a list of
the community decides who gets it.
And it was such a feeling of harmony and just the way it's implemented. I think she's just been such a great partner to have that way.
Absolutely.
Right. So we know that the resources that we do put over there they're actually going to
long term
be sustainable for the long term.
And I think the other piece, when you say ownership, there's contribution.
She mentioned ownership, private ownership.
So there's contribution given from us, and if the family doesn't have money to do it themselves, they actually participate in the labor. But they also are supposed to actually come up with part of the funds themselves. So it's a joint effort with the family. And when you have that joint effort of, donor plus ownership from the recipient, she sees those results. And so it's just an awesome reminder of like her approach.
Yeah, she's awesome. One thing I wish I'd gotten to say to her, but that I was thinking the entire time during the interview was just how thoroughly she's thought this through. You can tell how much she cares because of how much time and thought she's put into how she wants to direct, not just how she wants, but how she does direct SAPID amongst her team members, right? She said, I don't call them employees, I call them team members, and amongst community members, that this is something that's like, we're all in this together. This is, let's join forces, join arms to work together and better our lives collectively. I guess I am just applauding her ethos. I think it's really noteworthy.
Yeah, she's got so much experience. I think that's one thing that we saw when we were there, and just talking to her now, she's learned by seeing a lot of ways that people have tried to help and it not be successful. And this model really is what they see as successful in the slums. Mm-hmm. But how cool.
Yeah, we're thrilled. We're glad we had him on.
That's awesome.
We hope to get over there again soon and have him back on the podcast. And I knocked over my bottle again. With that, I think we're
that,
out of time.
We'll say thanks for listening. Remember to like, share, and subscribe to the ZuLoo Pōōdcast. Follow us on our social media channels. And just as a reminder, you can send us your email and then 2 friends' emails, get a free copy of Rose George's book, or just send us your email, get yourself a free little toilet stress, poop stress toy.
Stressful times require stress relievers. So
That's right.
we're here to please.
Thanks for listening. We'll see you next time.
Thank you for listening to the ZuLoo Pōōdcast. Follow us on social media at our links in the show notes below. To learn more, visit our website, ZuLoo.org. If you liked the podcast, be sure to subscribe, like, and comment. For even more ZuLoo fun, send us an email with your toilet stories to podcast@zuloo.com for a chance to be featured on the podcast. This episode of the ZuLoo Pōōdcast is sponsored by ZuLoo Inc., a benefit corporation dedicated to the goal of universal access to toilets, hygiene, clean water and sanitation through the power of social enterprise. Learn more at zuloo.com.